know what, Skip? Look, anytime you lose a game, so we already started, so he already at an A- because he lost.
Okay.
Okay, now he had 5 turnovers. So now he's at a B+. And then because he didn't do what I needed him to do in the fourth quarter, he's at a B-. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
I give him a B- because it's hard to give him any lower than that because I'm looking at him. He's 34, 14, and 3. He had a block shot. He was Kawhi. We asked him, the great players, you ask them to do an awful lot, especially him, because you ask him to take on the defensive end sometimes some of their toughest guys. He was on Clay for a little while, he egged, and then he drifted over there to Draymond. But Skip, the thing with it's going to wear on him because he doesn't know from night in and night out who he can count on. Game 1, Siakam was unbelievable. Now, you and I, everybody knew Siakam, the likelihood of him ever having another game like that. Forget the finals, the playoffs, 14-17, 32 points, playing like he played.
I do expect more big games, bigger than that game out of him.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to.
Yeah.
Because that's the difference between the Warriors and them. Well, Clay and Steph, they normally come hand in hand. And then you get that third option with Draymond. Because you know what you're going to get for Draymond. Draymond's going to give you a lot of this, a little of this, and a little of that. So rebounds, points, and assists, that's going to be Draymond. He'll get a steal or 2. He'll block a shot or 2. I'm looking, and I'm like, where the Raptors going to consistently get that from? Kyle Lowry? No. Danny Green? Nah. Marc Gasol, 6 points. Siakam, 5 of 18. That's not nearly good enough. I thought he was indecisive. Skip, I thought he had some opportunities from the three-point line that he hesitated.
I agree.
Now you got to catch that and go in rhythm, bro.
Yep.
Don't second-guess yourself. You belong here. You belong in this moment. Just ride it out. Just go live with it. You catch that ball in rhythm, and you let it go, and it doesn't go in, you can live with that. It's the hesitation that started to cause me some concern. But I'm going to give Kawhi a B-. He had 5 offensive rebounds. One series, he had 3 in one possession. Got to lay up to Van Fleet. Then he got another hit of 3. So Kawhi go, Skip, I don't worry about Kawhi. I know he's going to give me.
You should.
No, I shouldn't. Stop it. 34, 13, and 3. Most people would kill to have that kind of stat line. And he putting it up on a routine basis. You better be careful because I see even bigger things coming down the pipeline.
Do you really? So I'm glad you brought up your man LeBron James because this is now the poor man's LeBron James. In the wake of LeBron, and I guess he was watching from his couch. I don't know if he even watched his finals games.
He watched, of course. He's a student of the game. Yeah, he watches. He loves basketball.
Sure, hurt to watch that, right? Number 2 has become the most overprotected, overhyped superstar in all of sports in the wake of LeBron. We, or at least the basketball world, needs another LeBron, so it is now number 2. And because of all that, I'm not going to give in to all that the way most people do. So for his performance last night, I give number 2 a C. And I am highly impressed. Yeah, he was average last night. If you do the totality of his performance, given the hype that you bestowed on him, you called him the MVP of the playoffs, the best two-way player in all of basketball.
Yes.
So his bar for me goes way up here at the LeBron level. In fact, we might even put it a little above LeBron now that LeBron's aging like and starting, What's that?
Why would you do something
You
like
did something like that. I'm just reacting to your...
No, I said he's the best player in the playoffs.
Your expectations.
I said he's the best player. He's played the best in the playoffs, and he's the best two-way player.
Okay, so this number 2, he can stuff the stat sheet like nobody this side of LeBron James. And he goes for 34 and 14, highly impressive. If you hadn't watched the game, you see 34 and 14, you say, oh, that's an A-. Maybe you look at the result and you say, well, maybe it's a B+. But when you look at the 16 of 16 free throws, that is highly impressive to me. So I give him high marks for those. And I give him high marks. He had 5 offensive rebounds, so 5 to 9 offense to defense. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
And he had a couple late that were just really sensational.
Got 3 on one possession.
All effort. I will give you that.
Okay.
But his 5 turnovers easily could have been 7 or 8. He offensive fouled on, he charged on that one play, so that should have been a turnover. And twice he lost the ball, and his teammates saved him by recovering his loose basketball, so it saved him from a turnover. I thought he was very careless with the ball and had a hard time dribbling through double teams or just beating double teams to the basket.
Oh, you see, so they are double teaming, right? They are trapping him.
Not
Okay,
always,
okay.
but not always. But again, Clay took him for a while. Iggy took him at the first. Draymond had him at the end. You'd think he'd score on those guys. But now let's look at the defensive end, because he is the best two-way player in basketball, I am told. I thought he was ordinary last night on defense. I thought he drifted on defense, and you previously brought up on today's show that Draymond at one point got the ball off the board and just went the length of the court and laid it in, right?
Yes.
We've seen him do that repeatedly in these playoffs.
Yes.
On that play, number two just watches. There's no help defense from him. And there's several times he just watched. And there were several times he got beat backdoor by Draymond where he's just drifting mentally. You're just not in the ball game. And I don't know why, but I didn't see the effort on defense that I saw on the offensive end. So I got to dock him there, because his defense is the driving force of that team. Am I right?
It is, Skip, but it gets really, really hard to play the amount of minutes that he's playing. And he's
so this is LeBron-esque, so you have to rest on defense,
no,
right?
But I'm just saying, when you don't know where your consistent help is coming from, he's putting up shots, and some of the shots weren't great. He tried to draw contact, and the referees, I didn't think they did a great job. All these foul shots they've been shooting. I mean, come on, Skip. 26 and what did he shoot? 20 or 23 and 23 or 26. That's too many foul shots. I don't want all that foul shots. But anyway.
Oh, so the refs were favoring?
No, look, I thought there was some ticky-tack fouls being called. But when you're asking him to shoulder the load that he's shouldering, he's playing 38 to 40, he played 43 minutes in game one, 38 and a half in game two. Skip, that's a lot of minutes when you ask him to give you 30-plus on the offensive end, but by the same token, exert an enormous amount of energy on the
Is he
defensive
that
end.
guy or not that guy? I want to know if he's that guy, if he's Jordan-esque. We keep hearing that. Then that should be just kid stuff to him playing those minutes.
Well, look, see, Jordan in that last run, he had Scottie Pippen, he had Dennis Rodman, he had Ron Harper. All those guys could lock it down. Am I correct, Skip Bayless?
The number one lock it down was
Scottie
23.
Pip.
23.
Pip was the guy that took the best.
Pip rode coattails.
Don't do that, Skip.
Yeah.
Get a man his credit.
I am not going to give him.
Why?
Because Michael Jordan made Scottie Pippen.
No,
he just made him.
Skip,
he just made him.
Skip,
he did.
I'm sure
there wouldn't be a Scottie Pippen without Michael Jordan. When Pip left and went to Houston and then Portland, what happened? Nothing.
All I know is that when Michael Jordan retired, Scottie Pippen had him a Hugh Hollins blown call in Game 7 from the Eastern Conference Finals. Am I correct, Skip Bayless?
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable say yes, Scottie Pippen would have taken that team?
Didn't Scottie Pippen have a migraine? He wouldn't go back in the game when Phil asked him to go back?
No,
I don't
he didn't
know.
have no migraine. He was upset that the shot was drawn for Tony Kukoc.
Thank you.
And Kukoc hit it. The migraine happened, Skip, earlier in the year. I think that was against Detroit when he had that migraine.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm back to my original point.
Well, I'm back to my closing argument. Last night was on a silver platter for number two to take over game two. It belonged to him in his new house. Am I right about that?
Yes.
And down the stretch, you can't go 0 for 3 from the three-point line. Down the stretch, you can't, in the last minute and a half, go 0 for 2 from two-point jump shots. You cannot have that costly turnover with 2:18 left, and you cannot have an interceptable pass somehow go right through the claws that you have at the end of your arms. You're the claw. How can you not pick that pass off and go dunk it?
Okay, skip
it's
it.
the play of the game. Do you realize that right there, when Steph just lollipopped that pass because he lost his balance and he just flips it up in the air toward Sean Livingston. Do you realize the NBA Finals were up in the air right there? It's 50-50 because if he intercepts and goes and dunks it and they win that game, what's going to happen? I think Toronto's going to win the NBA Finals. That's what I think. That's how big a deal that was.
Probably if he had it to do over again, he probably would have fouled Sean Livingston on that play and then make him go to the free throw line.
You could argue.
And make him make both free throws.
We're going to talk about that in just a moment, but several players had a chance to foul Livingston or Draymond, or you could go a lot of different ways. But the point was the ball is up for grabs, and he did not make the play. And he makes his living on defense as well as offense. Well, I just showed you that's a C. That's an ordinary performance by him.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. Livingston get played also. He's an NBA player. We expect all the great players to make every great play. No, they're great.
I expect him to make the play. That was the play of the night.
Oh, like the one he made in Philly?
Yeah.
Or the one that he done against Giannis?
Which one in Philly?
Oh, you know which one.
You mean the lucky shot
That
in
one
the
don't look-
world?
that
Are
one
you,
don't look-
you,
that
you
one
taking
don't look.
credit
That
for
one
that?
don't look. That
You're
one
going to
don't
give him credit for a ball that bounced 4 times on the rim?
Greatness.
Wow, that's great.
Hold on. You do realize that Kawhi scored 34 points. The other 4 starters scored 39.
Okay,
So
fine.
who's going to come? You keep telling me Kawhi's great, and he is. But I need to know what other guys are going to come along with him.
All right, B- and C. You two actually aren't all
Not that far off.
Right.
And I'm highly impressed with my partner because that was some objectivity.
It's all
Some.
objectivity. That's what I do.
Some.
The trash talking is in full swing this Monday morning. And actually, it goes back to last night when Steph Curry took a major shot at the Raptors after the game. We'll tell you all about that coming up next.